Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I figured we would discuss a couple problematic cards. The YCS just concluded and most of these cards were part of most of the topping deck lists, so that speaks for itself. I want to know what you think, I want to know which cards you view as a problem and you think might get addressed on the upcoming ban list. Also, a lot of you are still not subscribed, and I would love for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're a part of this community and you don't miss on any of my future content. With that being said, we should go ahead and get started. We have a couple cards here, and yeah, I guess nothing more to add. We should just go. The first one is Scythe, and if I deem something a problem in this list, this entire list of cards is definitely Scythe. And I also think Scythe just might be the only one actually getting touched, but we will get into that in a couple of seconds. Basically, Scythe is, I think, the actual root of the problem, not Dagda. And that's why I put Dagda down here to address it, because people like to sort of state the argument that because Scythe is getting a reprint, this makes it so it's not going to get banned. Which I don't really see happening, because this doesn't speak for anything. A lot of the times, cards just straight up got a reprint, got banned. And it's just the way it was. So yeah, Scythe getting a reprint really doesn't mean anything in my opinion. And also, people are like, well, Scythe wasn't a problem before, but now after Dagda, it suddenly is. And it really doesn't have that much to do with Dagda, as it has to do with how many decks you can actually effectively run Scythe in. Because before, yeah, you could cite Sanctum and Scythe, and that would pretty much be it. But right now, you have all of these combo decks that end up on Dagda and Scythe. You also have Drytron that can search Scythe. You have decks that can send Scythe. Yeah, this is a cool segue to also say that since Baron can revive it, there's no sense in hitting Dagda, because if you still have a way to get out Scythe, you really achieve nothing if you have Dagda banned. So there's that. Scythe is an issue also, looking at how many decks can actually effectively run it, and when you get to a point in a format where something like Outlich actually becomes Cyburst Outlich, so they can end up on Scythe and DPE, then I think we have an issue on our hands. And yeah, I see Scythe getting banned for all of these reasons, and I see it as a problem for sure. The next couple of cards I have on here, you may be wondering why they are here, and it's D-Shifter and Barrier Statue. And I want to point out first that I don't really view them as a problem, no matter how much I hate playing against someone using D-Shifter. D-Shifter is just, it's annoying. It's a horrible card, and it's really lame when someone pitches it to the graveyard, but cards like D-Shifter, cards like Barrier Statue help the strategies that aren't necessarily running the best engines in the game actually compete. And I don't really see Flunder being as successful as it currently is without impactful cards like these, because only Empen probably won't achieve everything you want the deck to do, and also sometimes only Barrier Statue cannot carry you, because you know, you just get the Barrier Statue beat over, it's whatever. But if you pair it up with something like Book of Moon, then it really becomes an issue for the opponent. So yeah, it's a problem sometimes, but it's still not as big of an issue as some of these decks and engines are, but it's here to balance out the best decks. So it's kind of cool, actually, if you look at it in a really weird way, I guess. I still don't like it though, but that's besides the point. I don't like Flunder, I don't like D-Shifter, but it's just what it is. Then we have the Brave engine. I put the entire Brave engine in because you cannot pinpoint a certain card in the engine and just say this is the problem. Like, the entire thing is an issue. And a couple quick words on this actual engine. I like playing it because it's strong. No shame in that. Many people play it because it's strong. It's a dope engine. But if it never existed, it also wouldn't be an issue. Like, the fact that they printed it is a problem on its own. And right now, so many decks can run it that what I actually view as the main, I guess, problem is the fact that it's so expensive. And when you don't have the entire player base capable of, getting their hands on an engine like this is what makes everything so complicated, because if you don't have Brave right now, sometimes you really can't compete unless you're playing something very specific, like Flunder, for example. So yeah, I don't think this makes the format healthy. I don't think we are in a cool or balanced format right now. But the engine is still here and it's probably not going to get touched. So what I actually see happening is nothing at all. And what I mean by that is if you nuke one deck, then you need to nuke all of the other ones because, yeah, we're not in a balanced format when it comes to an overpowered engine, but we are in a balanced format where many decks can compete because they all run this engine. So then you come to the point of whether or not your actual deck, so the core, the actual deck without the Brave engine, is strong. And when you look at something like Prank It, for example, the actual Prank It strategy is very, very strong. When you look at something like this spamming pile of synchros, it's also very strong. If you look at something like Sword Soul, it's strong. And yeah, obviously Sword Soul is not like the actual pure, I guess Tenyu Sword Soul is not running Brave. That's an entire other deck. But what I want to say is all of these strategies, if you exclude Brave, are strong. So if you add Brave to some of these that can run it, then it makes it balanced. So if you, for example, nuke just Prank It, this doesn't really achieve anything because the other ones are going to gain that much popularity and also power. So yeah, I guess the thing I want to say is this engine is not going to get hit, no matter how toxic it may seem. Just because so many decks can play it, that the format is actually becoming balanced because of it. And that's just, it's a weird thought, but it is what's happening. So at some point in time, they might take care of it, but I just don't see it happening right now. And since we mentioned Prank Hits, and down here we have Dog that we addressed that, but we mentioned Prank Hits, and I have Meow Meow here as a problematic card because it is. Prank Hits became a one-card combo because of it, and this is just an issue on its own. And the double pop that it grants you, the replacement for cost that it gets you, and the fact that you can reshuffle it with Prank and have your entire combo once more on the following turn, all of that is just straight up wrong. And if Meow gets hit, it's really something that would nuke the Prank Hit strategy to the point where, you know, you really need to sweat to get all of your engine, I guess, going. But yeah, like I said, I don't see it happening. I would also be very sad, which is also besides the point, if we are looking at the format objectively. And it is an issue, but I don't see it getting addressed. We are in a season where, you know, it's the Nats season. IRL events are back. Brave just came out, and something like DPE, stuff like that, it has not been out for that long. Like, everything still needs some time to just breathe and live. And if you're not really happy with that, then I feel bad because I really don't see these issues getting addressed. And then we have the last two cards to cover, which is Fiber and Anaconda. And since I mentioned DPE just now, I guess we can address Anaconda. I see and view Anaconda as a true issue, but compared to something like Scythe, which sort of just screams, you know, ban me, like this needs to go, I don't see this with Anaconda because the DPE engine is still going so strong, and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon sort of flopped a bit in the TCG, but what DPE grants you in the Floating Monster, in the Celestial follow-up, is just too much. So if they take away Anaconda, and with Fusion Destiny at 2, this is your only way of getting to the DPE, and DPE just boosted so many strategies and everybody is running it. So yeah, it's an issue, but I still don't see it getting addressed. If we look at, you know, basically the past examples, they take a long time to really address some problems. And then the last one would be Fiber, and I have a hot take with Fiber. What they might do is they might just ban Red Rose. Like, when you look at these base strategies, the base with the bricks, the base that's like a smaller count with just synchros. If you look at the Sword Soul Tenyi stuff with the synchro stuff, so the small Sword Soul package, all of that. Basically, Fiber is like in these decks, but Red Rose is the center of it. So I'm not saying this is okay. I'm not saying Red Rose is a problem. I'm just saying that this is something, looking at Konami and what they did on a lot of the ban lists, it's maybe a way for them to deal with this arising problem, which is all of these synchro decks, because Fiber on its own should just be a card that boosts a couple strategies that may not be able to compete with the best ones, that maybe just gets ashed and then, you just pass. You know, it shouldn't be as busted as it is. And what makes it so busted, I think, is all of the cards surrounding it. So yeah, it's the way I view it. Maybe just ban Anaconda, ban something like Red Rose. It's not okay, but I really think it could happen because fiber is just this bridge, you know, when it comes to all of these broken stuff surrounding it. And if it's only fiber and you get hand trapped and you pass, then it's whatever. But what really makes it a problem is the Baron protection, the Brave protection, so the Griffin Rider protection. And when your fiber goes through, obviously it's busted. But then the thing you are achieving is the Auroradon plays and the Red Rose Dragon plays. So yeah, I don't know. Is that like a weird take? I just think that they might actually take care of everything else surrounding it, but not fiber itself. So yeah, that would be a couple words on the state of the game right now, the state of the most busted cards, and how I see them being addressed or not addressed in the future. And I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think is the problem, what you think of today's metagame, and what you think is going to be happening on the ban list. So if you liked the video, make sure to like it, give me a sub, check out all of the social media, let me know everything you think down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!